Great, you have $100,000 and you understand quite a bit about the stock market. So the question is now, how do you go about investing that $100,000? Today I'm going to share with you guys how I would go about investing $100,000 into the stock market. I cannot wait to share this with you guys today. Good day, subscribers. Thank you so much for joining me today. I am Jeremy. This is the Financial Education Channel, and today we're talking about how do you invest $100,000, guys. I'm going to basically take you through the steps on how I would invest $100,000, guys. So I did a how to invest $10,000 video, and I asked you guys, did you want to see a how to invest $100,000 video? And I had an overwhelming response that you guys did want to see this how to invest $100,000 video. So here we are today, and we're doing it. So here's the question. Do you guys want next month for me to do a how to invest $1 million video? Let me see in that comment section if you guys are interested in that. If you are, I'll do it. If you're not really that interested in it, I won't do it. So let's see from you guys if you want it. So first off, how to invest $100,000. We're assuming that you're someone that has been studying the stock market for a while. Maybe you've even dabbled in the stock market a bit, but you have a very good understanding of it. Maybe you're not like an advanced investor, but you're at least at a moderate level, guys. So that's what we're assuming here. You're not just like, one day you looked in the stock market, now you want to throw $100,000 at it. You've been studying it for a while. You've been watching my videos. You've been reading books on it. You really understand pretty fully what the stock market is, how it works, things like that, guys. So that's what we're assuming today. And you have $100,000 around, you want to invest it. So let's go ahead and get into this, guys. We got 8 steps we're going through on how I would go about doing it. Leave a thumbs up if you enjoy this, guys. Let's get into this. Number 1, I would put $25,000 in my number 1 stock. So the number 1 stock would be a growth stock. So we want to make sure it's growth focused. So at $100,000, you're starting to get a little more defensively focused. I would get a little more defensive at $100,000 than I would be at $10,000 investing, and certainly more than $1,000 investing. So, and you'll notice if we keep going with these videos as amounts get higher, we'll start to get a little more defensive. But at $100,000, it's still about growth. It is still about growing that dollar amount and growing it in the best way possible. So I would put $25,000 in my number 1 stock, which would hopefully be a growth stock, a stock that, the revenues are going up pretty nicely, EPS is going up pretty nicely, but the PE is not too ridiculous on that stock. So $25,000, so 25% of the portfolio goes in that one stock, the stock that if you had to put all $100,000 in it, you would put it in that stock because you're like, oh, this is the one I believe in the most. This is the one that's going to do so phenomenal and this and that. And you've researched it so well. That's the one stock I'm talking about, guys. So $25,000 into that one stock is what I would do. Number 2, I would put $15,000 in my number 2 stock. Now, my number 2 stock needs to be in a different industry than my number 1 stock. So you can't just, at least I wouldn't just put, my number 1 stock and my number 2 stock in the same exact industry, because we're talking about now $25,000 in that first stock, $15,000 in your second stock. That's 40% of your portfolio. You do not really want 40% of your portfolio, especially if you're only a moderate investor. Maybe if you're an expert investor and you have a huge insight on the market and things like that, maybe you could do that. But if you're just a moderate investor, you don't want to have 40% of your portfolio in basically only one industry. So especially at $100,000. So I would pick 2 different industries there. So don't just make sure it's 2 tech companies, or don't just buy Coke and Pepsi and those are your number 1 and number 2 stocks. Those are obviously in the same industry. So if they do really crappy together, guess what? Both of your stocks are going to be horrible and 40% of your portfolio is going to be garbage, guys. So make sure it's another growth company. We're focused on growth for those top 2 stocks and focused on a different industry than the one that was your number 1 stock, guys. That takes us into step number 3, $10,000 into a third stock, whatever is the third best stock you like out there. But this stock is not necessarily a growth stock. This stock is a value stock. A value stock, meaning a stock that is very safe. It's a huge company that has a very good competitive moat, and they're not likely to get knocked off anytime soon, guys. So a safety stock, maybe it's a Coca-Cola or a Johnson & Johnson or something like that, guys. A Procter & Gamble, a necessity-based company that they're not going anywhere anytime soon, guys. So $10,000 into that stock. So basically we have $50,000 invested, 50% of the portfolio. That takes us into, or actually, yeah, $50,000 at this point we have invested. That takes us into step number 4, which is you're going to want to put $5,000 each in stock number 4 and stock number 5. So you're going to have a 4th favorite stock and a 5th favorite stock. $5,000 each in each of those, guys. So basically, those stocks also, you want those to be value stocks. So your 3rd, your 4th, and your 5th are all value stocks. You have lower amounts of money invested in those stocks, but it's some safety around your portfolio so you don't have to risk it, guys, and it's not too scary at this point. So a couple more value stocks in there. So you got a total of 5 stocks you're holding now, guys. That goes into step number 5, which is basically you're gonna have $40,000 left over right at this point, because you got $25K in your number 1, you got $15K in your number 2. That's $40,000. You got $10K in your 3rd stock. We're up to $50,000, and then you got $5K each in stock number 4, number 5. So that's $60,000 invested. So you got $40,000 on the sideline. For the first 3 months you're investing in those stocks, I would not touch that extra $40,000. I would not touch it. That $40,000 just is in your account. You're just watching everything that's going on with those stocks. You're also looking out for more stocks maybe you want to buy or sell or whatnot, but you're not touching anything for those first 3 months. You just got your $60,000 invested. And then that goes into step number 6, which is basically after 3 months is up, so those 3 months is up, you can decide if you want to sell anything. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. Maybe you don't want to sell anything at that point. Maybe you want to hold all your shares you got currently, but maybe there's one stock or maybe even 2 stocks you're like, why the hell am I in this stock? I don't really like this stock. So if you don't like that stock, you can go ahead and sell it off at that point, guys, after that 3 months is up. Number 7, going into step number 7, coming up to the end here, guys. You're going to invest $25,000 plus anything you sold into those other stocks, but make sure you always have about 5 stocks to invest in, guys. Make sure you don't really go under that amount, especially if you're only a moderate investor. So basically now at this point, you're going to have a minimum of $75,000 invested. So you're only going to have $25,000 left over at this point. So you got 75K, so you're starting to get in heavy on the market now. You got almost all that money pushed in, but it's not quite pushed in. So, and if you want to maybe cost average down a stock, maybe your number 1 stock, let's say for instance, maybe that went down 10%. Well, if it went down 10% and you still like the company just as much, you can always stick, that $25,000 in that stock or kind of divide it among the stocks, things like that, guys. So you got 75K invested now, and this goes into step number 8, which is the last step. At the 6-month mark, so when you hit 6 months, you're going to basically invest that final $25,000, and you can average down in any positions you like, but try to hold 5 stocks, guys. Try to hold 5 stocks. And at this point, so you're 6 months in now, you're going to have all $100,000 invested out there. And hopefully maybe you made a little bit of money, so maybe it's a little more than $100,000 you got invested. We'll see, but hopefully that's the way it goes. And like I said, you can average down on positions, maybe stock number 3, maybe that value stock that you had quite a bit of money in, that you stuck $10,000 in right off the bat. Maybe it went down 10% and you only have $9,000. Maybe you want to put another $10K toward that stock or something like that, guys. So that's how I would do it. You would basically have all $100,000 invested at that point. You would have it diversified between some growth stocks, some value stocks, things like that. Maybe you average down some positions. Maybe you got rid of a position that wasn't that great to begin with, things like that. So you didn't just wake up one day and you're like, okay, I know quite a bit about the markets now. I'm going to put all $100,000 in today. No, you kind of went slowly over a 6-month period to get to that point of having $100,000 invested here, guys. And that's basically how I would play it. That's how I would play it if I was a moderate investor. Now, a question might be, Jeremy, it's $100,000. You have it all in 5 stocks. Why not more than 5 stocks? At this point, with that amount of money, I think 5 stocks is about right, especially if you're a moderate investor. Anything more than that, I think you might get a little too unfocused in your portfolio. You might get into too many things that you might have no clue about. It might be a little hard to track. So I think 5 stocks, and as long as they're, between value and growth, I think that's a good amount, guys. That's a fair amount there. And we're playing a little more safety than we were playing with 10K and the 10K video, how to invest $10,000, and a lot more safety than the how to invest $1,000 video. And if I do that how to invest $1 million video, if you guys want that video, I'll go into, we're going to get even a little safer, because as you get the higher amount, it becomes more and more about preserving wealth than making wealth, guys. So that's something we'll notice if we keep going on with this series every month, guys. So I hope you enjoyed this How to Invest $100,000 video. I really enjoyed sharing it with you guys. It was a lot of fun today. Hit a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. If you just came across this channel and you're not subscribed yet, you may want to. We talk personal finance to this channel. I'm an actual business owner. I give away a lot of my business tips on this channel. We talk the stock market the most on this channel out of everything, including videos I've done in the past, like how to invest $1,000, how to invest $10,000, today how to invest $100,000, and maybe next month how to invest $1 million. Thank you for watching, guys, and have a great day.